A Moscow court on July 23 sentenced a Russian woman to 4 years in prison for practicing Falun Gong, a spiritual practice, raising alarm of more repression as Russia aligns with the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. 47-year-old Natalia Menenkova was accused of breaking the law of carrying out the activities of an undesirable organization and was sentenced after spending a year in detention. Menenkova's various illnesses in her stomach, throat, and tonsillitis healed after practicing Falun Gong, a spiritual practice based on the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. She told the court, "It is very painful to see that my country, instead of protecting me from the persecution of the CCP and assisting in exposing torture, murder, and forced organ harvesting in China, is an instrument in the hands of the CCP and persecutes its own citizens. Prison is not the worst thing that can happen to a person. It is much worse to lose yourself by refusing to act according to your conscience," she added. Russia passed the law in 2015 to target more than 100 organizations, including journalists and human rights activists, but the repression and persecution against Russian Falun Gong practitioners intensified since 2022, after Moscow and Beijing signed a no-limits partnership shortly before invading Ukraine in February 2022. In 2022, the CCP called to intensify repression of Falun Gong practitioners inside and outside of China. Menenkova was arrested in May 2024, 2 weeks before a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Malaysian authorities had similarly detained 76 practitioners ahead of Xi's visit to Malaysia on April 15. Since March 2024, 7 other Russian practitioners of Falun Gong were prosecuted or detained under the law. Oksana Shetkina from Russia's Pyatigorsk city was sentenced to 2 years prison term for her association with Falun Gong practitioners, while another Russian citizen, Zhu Yun, was also sentenced to 3 years in prison in 2024. Executive Director of Falun Dafa Information Center, Levi Braude, said, "The timing echoes Beijing's playbook and signals a chilling alignment with its authoritarian repression. It is beneath Russia's sovereignty and national dignity to bow to pressure from Beijing to ban Falun Gong and imprison its own citizens. History will not look kindly on those who choose to collaborate with the Chinese Communist Party, the most brutal communist regime in the world today." Braude said, "The CCP started to persecute Falun Gong in 1999 after it felt threatened by its massive popularity in China, which had 70 to 100 million Chinese practitioners at that time. The practice has since spread globally with millions of practitioners worldwide."